just had an amazing conversation with Loretta Hogg, who works alongside world-renowned doctor Stacey Sims, as well as working alongside the All Blacks before the last World Cup and a whole bunch of elite athletes. And we spoke a lot about women's health, but health in general.
The stuff that's been going on to me, it's like I want to make sure that no one else experiences it.
The importance of lifting weights, the different types of training, and she said something interesting because I talked about overtraining. And she said there's actually no such thing as overtraining, it's just under recovery.
A lot of people, they're just not fueling correctly and they're not sleeping. That sleep pillar is massive.
So there's so much in this, She talked about health span rather than just lifespan. And for anyone that's in the last half of their life, I really suggest you watch this stuff. It's absolutely amazing. There's so much in there for everyone. So don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. This conversation needs to be heard far and wide. Loretta Hogg, enjoy. We won Best Māori Pacifica Podcast and we got third in Best Interview and Best Educational Podcast. I just want to take a moment to thank you all. Thank you all of our amazing listeners, our community. Never would have thought that we'd win these awards. I just wanted to tell amazing stories and inspire people, to show people it's possible. And that's what this is all about. So don't forget to click that subscribe button. 80% of the people watching on YouTube aren't subscribers. Just take a second to subscribe. It enables us to keep telling these stories and keep showing people that no matter where you start in life, that it is possible. Thank you so much, team. Unfiltered with Dave Latelli is proudly part of the Acast network. Loretta, thank you so much for joining me. How's it going?
Good, thanks for having me and thanks for the workout this morning.
Yeah, no, you've done well. So how's everything going? What have you been up to?
Yeah, it's going good. I've just had my Adams Centre Awards night the other week, and my private business is going really well. So Loretta Loves Lifting, which is my women's health business, and my work with Stacey Sims is super enjoyable. I'm loving all of it.
So before we get into all of the stuff you're doing now, tell us about you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Auckland, went to primary school in Auckland. We moved up to Matakana, north of Auckland, when I was 12, and I went to Mahiringi College. So that was a bit of a eye-opener, changing schools, changing like the formality of the uniform and everything. But it was really cool because in Auckland I was doing pool swimming. And when I went up to Mahiringi College, I got into surf lifesaving. And I thought that was just such a cool sport. Took away all that anxiety of standing on a block, being in an individual lane and panicking to this line in the sand. Everyone's standing together and you just go for it. So really enjoyed that whole change of pace, being a country kid and loving being in that environment.
What did you want to be when you were growing up? Did you want to be a sports star or what was it?
Yeah, I feel like when I got into the surf lifesaving, I wanted to be like a Kellogg's Ironman. So Corey Hutchings came and was speaking to our surf club and was telling us all about the Kellogg series and everything like that. So I thought for a while I wanted to be a competitive Iron woman. And then I kind of changed and was like, I'd love to be a pro surfer. I didn't even surf at the time, but I was like, that lifestyle just looks so cool. I was good at sport, so I had the school cross-country athletics and swim champs trophies. So I was definitely an overachiever in that space, but just not really gelling or clicking with a lot of that stuff. So kind of finished school and got a little bit lost, I feel.
Yeah, I think a lot of us get lost after school. I got lost multiple times throughout my life. Touch wood, I never get lost again.
Yeah.
But I think when you do get lost though, you sort of learn how to navigate your way through it. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way. When you say lost, what happened?
I don't think I really wanted to go to university, but it was kind of you finish school, you go to uni. So decided I was going to go to Otago and I was going to do nutrition. So I went down there. And again, when the passion's missing, it's really, really hard to have the concentration, want to get through it. And I actually dropped out after my second year. And I was like, nah, I don't like this. I'm not liking how it's feeling or where it's going. I just feel like I'm wasting time. I'm wasting space. What I did was I got my course related costs, and I bought a season pass to the mountain. I bought myself a snowboard and done all this, and I actually had put some of my uni money into a savings account and bought some livestock and put it on mum and dad's property. And then I sold the livestock and bought a plane ticket to Canada and dropped out of uni and flew to Canada.
I'm glad I met someone else who used course-related costs on totally non-course-related things.
Yeah, definitely not course-related, but they were great investments.
I remember we went out, all of us boys that were all friends, still friends to this day, we went out and got an overdraft. There was a particular bank that gave you a student overdraft. It was $1,000. We went and we all got that $1,000 student overdraft, and we blew it all in one night in town, and just drinking, drinking and doing lots of different things. And, the rest of it we wasted. But
I think I actually did that when I got to Whistler. I got my money out, my $1,000 overdraft, and I think I spent like 400 Canadian in Whistler in one night.
And what happened then over in Canada?
I got that bug for snowboarding. I just felt like it was something that like naturally clicked, and I enjoyed the environment, and so basically came back from Canada, decided I was moving to Wanaka, moved over to Wanaka, and then started like working up Cardrona, did a year in the like rentals department, and then the following year did like events crew, which was super cool, and so got into that whole like snow park Cardrona vibe, and ended up doing a few seasons, like going to the US and then coming back, which was super, super cool. I was around there for about 5 years, and I decided that I was going to go to AUT, and I was going to do a Bachelor of Sport and Recreation, double major in coaching and sport management. And the coaching degree had about 150 people in year one, and by the time we finished, we had 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it just a tough program?
I think I was passionate about it. I think a lot of people go into that sport and rec space and they think it's easy. And so they're like, oh, it's this easy degree, I'll just get this degree. They just get it and then they don't really know what to do with it. Whereas I decided I want to be a coach. I want to help people. I want to make their journey better, and I want to make sure that they get the best experience of sport.
That's epic. If I think about what we do in BBM, well, BBM was born out of my struggle, and that's how it happened. I'd lost everything and started on my own journey and then come back to get others, Is that the case with you? How did you get into, you're helping a lot of people now, individuals and sports teams, and you can relate to all these different people?
Yeah, so I think even when I was at school and I was doing all that training, so with my surf lifesaving, I was doing a lot of swimming, the surf lifesaving training, which was every day, and then I was also playing football. So I was really overtraining when I was at school, and I was definitely underfueling. So
overtraining. Can we talk about this for a bit? Can we talk about overtraining?
Yeah.
Because more is not always better, right? And
no.
when I was a kid, my dad, and I'd made schoolboy Kiwis, and I thought my trajectory on life, I was going to play NRL. That's where I was headed. But my dad just trained the shit out of me. I would I was at Samwell College. We trained in Mount Wellington I was playing men's when I was 16. Where Samwell College is quite a ways from Mount Wellington, so he'd make me run there, train, and he picked me up. And then when I made Auckland, the training was in Otahu, so I had to run a lot faster to make training there. And it was just constant hill runs, and all I did was train.
Yeah.
And then I went to an Auckland, the Nationals tournament, and I played like shit. I looked really fit, but I just was so tired.
Yeah, that's 100% that cycle I got into. So yeah, I was quite a chubby kid, and teachers and adults and stuff would underestimate my sporting ability. So even though I was a bit chunky, I was still placing in all the athletics things and the swimming and everything like that. But I had a coach say to me, if you lose 3 kilos, you'll win nationals. There's no how or guidance as to how to do that. So in my head, I was like, sweet, okay, I need to eat less. So I just started increasing all my training. I'd go into my room at night, shut my door. My parents wouldn't know this, and I'm just like doing push-ups. I'm doing sit-ups, and I'm just like, okay, all I need to do is like lose this weight, get faster, get better. Like this is how I'm gonna win. And like if you talk to my mum, I used to like cut everything she'd give me for dinner in half and just slide half of it to the side. And it wasn't that my parents were trying to like stop me eating. They were trying to get me to eat more, but I was like, nah, like this is what it takes to win. I got told that this is what it's going to take to win. So I need to train harder and I need to eat less because I need to be smaller. And so definitely got into that whole thing of I'd say disordered eating and lack of guidance. And then I think, like parents don't realise how much influence they have on their kids. And, like your mum's got the Weight Watchers book sitting on the bench and you're like, oh, this is this many points, but if I only eat 5 apples, then it's only 5 points. And so it's like, it's that whole thing of like, you've got to remember that like you're the example for who's around you, and like, everyone's got their own struggles. Like my parents weren't doing that stuff on purpose or anything like that, but you're picking up about what's going on around you. So that's, again, the reason why I want to be a really good example and make sure that, like, when my girls come into the gym, I'm like, what did you have for afternoon tea? What protein was in your brekkie? Blah, blah, blah. And we're having open conversations about food, and we're making sure that fueling is a priority. So if you want to perform well, you can't do that on an empty tank.
What's the science behind overtraining? Or is there, like, why do you, you train like this, but you feel worse?
So it's the under recovery. So there is no such thing as overtraining. There's only such thing as under recovery.
Okay.
So you've got to think about like, how were you recovering when you were training that hard? Were you getting enough sleep? Were you fueling correctly? So you've got to remember that you've got to have a pre-snack and a post-snack. And then if your training's over a certain amount of time, you need to have intra-fueling. So fueling throughout the session. And then what else are you doing for your recovery? So, but a lot of people, they're just not fueling correctly and they're not sleeping. Like we've got that sleep pillar is massive. And so many people, especially now that I see these energy drinks absolutely everywhere, I've got athletes coming into the gym at 5 p.m. and they've got like a can of Celsius or a can of V. And I'm like, how are you meant to sleep? Yeah, like you've got to wind down. Like you've got to go home and like make sure that your brain can like slow down and you can actually drop into that good sleep pattern.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue for me. I think I caught up with my mate yesterday for breakfast. It was what time was it? Maybe 9 o'clock. And he goes, I'd ordered while I was with him 3 triple shots of coffee, just espresso.
Yeah.
And he said, how many coffees have you had before you got here? I said 6. So that's not good, right?
So I got diagnosed with ADHD this year. Do you think you have ADHD, Dave?
My friends tell me I do, but
yeah.
But I prefer just going undiagnosed.
But apparently, because I was the same as you, I'd be raging round on 6 coffees, and apparently that's a way that ADHD people self-medicate.
Really?
Yeah. And now I drink so much less. I drink, same. I could have a coffee and then I'd be out. I have a little nap. Yeah. And so apparently when you've got ADHD, it's a way to self-medicate is trying to like take stimulants. Yeah. So maybe it's something to think about.
My mate said I'm also undiagnosed OCD.
Yeah, so I drink significantly less coffee now that I'm on ADHD medication.
Why are all these energy drinks and like this much caffeine? Why is that not good if you're trying to get in? Like, so for instance, this morning's session, I smashed down a couple of energy drinks, and so I had, it's probably not the best thing, but I had pre-workout scoop, and I mixed it with pre-workout drink.
Oh my God. So, I guess.
So that's not good.
You are allowed 4 double espressos a day. It's quite a lot of coffee. The thing is and I'm going to admit, high performance sport, it runs on caffeine. So caffeine is a known like ergogenic aid. It's going to help you, and it's going to help you perform. So like the Sevens boys, they've got this caffeine drink that they mix up. They call it Hiss Juice. And they have that before they play.
Can you tell me what that is?
It's just one of the like informed sport like pre-workouts that they're allowed to take. That's got like anhydrous caffeine powder in it.
Yeah.
And they all chew caffeine gum.
Yeah, I've heard they do the caffeine. Man, I'll tell you what. Back in the old days when I used to play, coming into a league shed was like entering a pharmaceutical. Just like. I used to take pseudo, wash it down with Red Bull right before going out. I play.
You have like pinhole eyes. Who's that?
We actually got complaints because sometimes young kids would come into the thing and we're all in there taking pseudo and drinking Red Bull, and by the time you come out, you're like crushing the cans on your head before you run out. It was bush footy.
So I actually had to have this conversation with one of my athletes. He's 16 yesterday. So the thing you have to watch out now, especially if you're an athlete, and this is even at the club level, is you are subject to random drug testing. And so you have to be careful what is in your supplements. You need to make sure that they're informed sport approved. But I just urge everyone to go for a food first approach.
When you're working with someone and you say like diet first, because a lot of times people come to see me or they message me and like ask for, like this is someone who's just starting, just getting off the couch, and they want to go like, I'm looking at fasting or keto.
Yeah.
And like literally, they might weigh 200 kilos and just starting. So which is great, they're getting off the couch to start. But going from that to fasting or going from that to like keto or whatever it is, what's your thoughts on, where do people start if they're literally just starting?
Yes. Okay. So there's a few layers to that. So my first thing would be you want to create the routine for your habit first. Okay. So think about, I want to get up and I want to be running 10K, or say this is the thing. I want to get up at 5 a.m. and I want to run a 10K. So the first thing you need to do is you just need to get used to waking up at 5 a.m. Because if you try to do everything all at once, you're going to do it for a week and then you're going to go, shit, that was so hard. I'm just going to throw that in the bin. So get up at 5, put your earpods in, make yourself a coffee, go for a walk. And just do that consistently until your body gets used to waking up at 5 a.m. Then when you're used to that, then layer the next thing on. So when you're saying you've got these people coming in and they're trying to change 20 things at once, it's too much. Like you're going to burn yourself out, you're going to scare yourself, and you're just not going to do it. So just pick, say, 2 things. It's going to be the get up and the walk. Yeah. And then build on that. But the fasting thing, it doesn't work because guess what you use when you're working out? You use carbohydrate. 90% minimum of what you use as fuel during a workout is carbohydrate. So if you do not have carbohydrate in your body, you're just going to start wasting lean muscle mass, lean tissue, because guess what? It goes before fat.
It's crazy how the way your body is, eh?
Yeah.
You know, that people, when you say that to people, say, your body's going to burn muscle before it burns fat.
Yeah.
If you're not fueled properly, it's just nuts.
Yeah. So we need to make sure that you've got some carbohydrate on board and a little bit of protein to prevent that muscle breakdown.
You were saying this morning you were part of the All Blacks camp as well.
Yeah. So I've done Nick Gill.
And he's your mentor.
Yeah, he's one of my mentors.
So tell us about him.
He's been the head strength and conditioning coach for the All Blacks for 16 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So one year I was lucky enough that the Adams Centre actually had the Wallabies, and then the All Blacks were in Auckland, and I was like ping-ponging between the two of them.
Wow.
So like their S&C JP, he was a really cool guy and had really good concepts, but just the environment piece was really interesting because obviously I'd experienced how the All Blacks performed in a gym space, and it's like bangers on the stereo, music's absolutely blaring, just kind of like flows, Nick's floating around, everyone's got their program, they know what they're up to, and it's just like cool. And then with the Wallabies, it was like they had paper programs magneted to the lifting rigs, and then JP would turn the music off, explain everything, they'd go off, music would go on, next thing, music off, and like there was just no flow to the environment. And so then all of a sudden, like, because obviously I already had respect for Nick, but I was like, wow, his environment, he's just got it dialed, like it's just flowing and it's cool, you know? And I was like, I want to be like that. I want to get that going. So got to do like all the strength testing before the World Cup.
Was that the last World Cup?
Yeah.
Man, what is it that makes some people become successful at this and others not?
I think I've only just recently figured this out, but I feel like I maybe have been doing it for a few years, and I feel like you probably do this too, is it's the courage to be disliked and not have approval from everyone. Because if you are worried about what other people think of you when you walk into an environment, then you will stop doing what you're doing. Whereas if you walk in and you go, I don't give a fuck what you think of me, or what your perspective is of me, or what your preconceived ideas are of me, then you'll make it, because the only person you are there for is yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that is the difference. It's like you just don't have that fear of, am I going to fit in? Do they care about me? And you're purely there for your own intentions and the right intentions. Yeah.
If you're doing it for your health, you have to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
How important are external motivations? If you're starting a journey, like, sometimes people, it's for my children. Because I think, like a lot of us, like we put ourselves last, but we'll never give up on our children. But what's the benefit of having these external motivations or like the discipline, so you got motivation, but it's the discipline that keeps you going.
It is. But I think you ask this question at the end of every session. It's what is your why? And I think, quite a lot of what I've seen is people don't write down goals. And it's that thing of like, until you put it out in the world, it's not a reality. So it's like, write it down and then tell someone.
Yeah.
You're way more likely to do it if it's said out loud. So, I feel like this last year, so I had started a couple years ago from listening, I don't even know what podcast, but it was like, get a journal and do a gratitude journal and just like make it a habit and do it every day. So I started writing down highlight of my day and what I'm grateful for. It was the minimum requirements that I had to write down.
Yeah.
And then I just started I did some goal setting at the start of the year, and then I will reflect back on it at the end of the year. So basically I wrote down my goals and then I started saying them out loud. I don't like failing. Yeah. I bet you don't like failing either. As soon as you tell someone, you're like, shit, I got to do it now.
I don't like failing, but I'm not scared of it.
Yes, yeah, no, I'm the same. But I don't think I ever fail. It's that saying like you either win or you learn, right? And so it's like it's never a failure. It might just be a bit of a like weird detour, and then the original thought does not end up being the end product, but it's still like a success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my goals this year were I want to believe my career is limitless. I want to make enough money that I can support my friends' businesses. And I wanted, what did I write? I wanted to continue to be a lifelong learner. So I wanted to see what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
So like you can always learn. Like you can watch something and you can be like, shit, I'm never doing that.
Yeah. Support friends' businesses, and you were like that this morning. You are saying, don't worry about paying. You wanted to pay for you paid for to come to do the workout. You pay for your smoothies.
Yeah, but I've never had my own money, Dave.
Yeah.
My upbringing, it was cool and everything, and my parents are good, like working middle class people, but we weren't rich. And so, like, my parents couldn't put me through university. I had a massive student loan. So
How much was your student loan?
$76,000. And I've got 2 weeks to go.
76.
Yeah.
But you got a degree though, right?
Yeah, so I've got
that.
I've got a Bachelor of Sport and Rec, double major in coaching and sport management, and then I went back and I did Masters in Sport and Exercise Science.
My loan was 50 something K and I didn't get a degree, so that's what's worse.
Well, I definitely, the first couple of years at Dunedin, I just racked up money.
Yeah.
Another one of my goals I wrote down was that I want to have enough money to have a house deposit. And so I feel like I'm pretty close to that. So that was really cool too. So I feel like I had a look back before I came on the podcast and I was like, wow, I've actually almost achieved every single thing that I wrote down. Yeah, and it's because I said it out loud. I said to multiple people, I was like, I'm going to up my KiwiSaver to 10%. Just going to do it. And then, just so everything, I just said it out loud and then I had to do it.
So you manifest it.
Yeah.
Manifest it into existence. What do you call those? What do you call those boards?
Oh, vision boards.
Vision boards. My late sister, she would put like a house she wanted, car she wanted, like happy, like pictures of the family all together, and she'd just manifest it.
Yeah.
All the time. And I guess, like you say, keep saying it. Saying your goals, writing them down. We talk about that as well a lot, and I keep putting it out into the universe what we want.
Yeah, I know, because like if you say it and it's a good idea, people hear it and go, I want to be involved.
Yeah,
I'll do that. Sounds cool.
But things are going well now through your business. So what's your businesses?
So I started Loretta Loves Lifting in October last year.
What's your ultimate goal? Where do you want to be?
Ultimate goal.
Ultimate.
I'm not entirely sure. I think that's why I said I wanted my career to be limitless. I'm really liking the fact that I'm just being given opportunities. Like, that is incredible. My friend, Dr. Stacey Sims, she's just such an awesome person, and she's another person that's really believed in me, and it's been so cool to work with someone that's my best friend. So,
and she's like up there. Right? She's like a million. I had to look at her this morning, like million followers on Instagram. Tell us about her, because it might get us more views.
So Stacey used to have like a little office in the Adams Centre, and so one time I just came in and she was on the bike, and I was kind of like, I think she had like a NZL like triathlon bib on, and I was like, oh, did you race for New Zealand? And she was like, oh, yeah. And I've done like road cycling for the US, and she's done like Kona Ironman and everything like that. And I was like, wow, you're cool. Yeah, and we just started like hanging out and doing stuff together, ocean swims around the mount, going to gyms. And she asked me a couple of years ago, she's like, oh, do you want to be my first employee? And I was like, heck yeah, because she's all about women's health. She's a physiologist. So she specifically looks at the sex differences between men and women. So that's everything from like how we react to drugs differently to different environmental things like heat and cold. Yeah, so super, super interesting. And I was just like, wow, I can learn so much off you. And then we can also go and do cool things. Like, we don't always have to be talking science or training. We can just be like blob and be people. So she took me this year with her to the US. So we went to California. She spoke at Google HQ.
Wow.
This is incredible.
What was that like?
Oh, honestly.
Is it like the movie Internship?
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie Internship?
Honestly, they've got like these Google bikes that you can ride around everywhere. And like the campus was massive. We got a tour of the campus. They've got like outdoor heated pools, volleyball courts, all these gyms. They've got food. Everywhere. So there's all these different restaurants like all around campus. So you can like go choose that you're having like Whole Food or Mexican or whatever, and then like snack bars and everything. Wow. I was just like, oh. But yeah, so she spoke at Google. She spoke at Stanford.
Wow.
It was just such an awesome trip. We met up with Aura Ring because they want to get their algorithms and their research more into like women's tech. which is super cool. None of the wearables are currently, they're all running off male data. So when women have different phases of their cycle, it's saying that they're like under recovering and stuff.
Wow.
But actually it's just like our basal metabolic rate goes up and our heart rate goes up. So it's not necessary that we're under recovering. It's just we're in a different part of our cycle. So super interesting to be involved in that whole women's health space because it's so interesting.
So what do you think makes Stacey Sims so special?
Oh, it's going to make me cry. Because she's my best friend. You know, like she's so real. She's a person. You know, and I think that's the thing. Like you see these people and people put them up on a pedestal, but she's just someone that wants to go ride her bike and hang out with her daughter and do all the cool stuff and come for a dance with me and be silly. And I think it's that I get to see that side of her. Like, the stuff she's doing with women's health is absolutely incredible. And I said she wants to be that face and she's not scared to, you know, be that shield for the people behind her. So I think that's so cool that she's mentally decided that that's her path. So I think it's cool that I get to be involved with her as she moves forward, and I hope that she feels like I'm going to be there beside her and I'm going to support her, and on those days that maybe she's feeling a bit weak, I can step up. But I think it's just the thing that makes her so special is that I get to be her friend.
What's the last question I ask everybody, as you already know? What's your why? What's your purpose?
My purpose is definitely to educate women and make sure they can have the best journey through women's health, because the research is not currently there. We are an under-researched population. Even though we are over 50% of the world's population, we do not have the research to let us know how our bodies work. The whole birth control piece, like, can you imagine if we were putting men on hormones so high that it was making them sterile? So it's like stuff like that. It's like, do you know what it's doing to your body?
Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I know you've gone through a little bit of...
Yeah. So I think the thing is, it's got a purpose. So we've got to remember, like, yes, go on it for the purpose that it's there, but understand what it does to you first. And then also, I got put on it when I was 16, and I stayed on the same one for 20 years, which is why I had an issue. So basically, I was on a high-dose progestin. It suppresses your pituitary gland in your brain. So this is the same with the oral contraceptive, which is it's got estrogen and progestin in it. So it's a little bit safer, but it still switches your pituitary gland off. So that means that you're not producing any luteinizing hormone or follicle-stimulating hormone, which then means that you don't make any estrogen or testosterone from the ovaries. So your feedback loop gets switched off, and the hormones that are synthetic in your body take over, and then your body's like, oh, well, I've got enough circulating, so I'm not going to make it. So what happened with the one I was on was it's a high-dose progestin, so there's no estrogen. So progestin is catabolic, which means it breaks stuff down. So estrogen builds your muscle, builds your tendons, builds your collagen, so your hair, your skin, your nails, everything like that. So I was on something for 20 years that suppressed my estrogen. So I was in a permanent breakdown state. I don't even know how I have muscles. So basically, in the end, my tendons and ligaments started to break down. So I was having like frozen shoulder tendinopathies. Like my hair was falling out. My eyes had dried up because you've got estrogen receptors everywhere. So it's not just a sex hormone. And so I found out like 2 years ago that this drug was what was causing it. And so, again, because there's lack of research in that whole women's health space, I went to a hormone menopause expert who shoved me on a bunch of hormone replacement therapy. So I got pumped full of estrogen, progestin, and testosterone. And my body was like, it went haywire. I was just like, what's going on? I ended up with this thing called PMDD, which is like severe depression. So like I was wanting to, for no reason, like I was keeping my journal. So I'd be like, oh yeah, I've done this today. Like had okay day, but I want to kill myself. It's like, fuck. I was like, what? This is pretty dark. Like, why? And so I was going back to the doctor because I knew that it wasn't anything that was going on in my life that was causing me to feel like this. So I was like, this is the cause of it. So I knew that, like, I was like, I'm not going to go through with this because I know that it's not something in my life causing this. So help me. But again, they were just playing potions with my body. They were putting me on more of this, less of this, up, down, sideways, because they were just trying to fix it, because there's no research out there saying how to fix it. But again, when you're on all this hormone replacement therapy, it's still suppressing your brain. So it wasn't until like I'd been on it for an entire year that I was like, hold on, my body can't kick back in because you're blocking it. Yeah. So then I came off everything because I developed like a myalgia, like a serious pain condition. I couldn't ride a bike on the flat. I couldn't even swim anymore. Couldn't walk downstairs because I felt like I had DOMS all the time. But it's when your estrogen gets so low that it causes like a pain condition. So my joints and my muscles were basically just fucked. Yeah. So I stopped taking all of that. And then when the abrupt cut off, all my hair fell out in May this year. I got severe insomnia. I didn't sleep for 4 days straight.
Jeez.
Yeah, so this is what happens when you have zero hormones in your body. It was quite scary. But this is that whole education piece. I'm like, do you know this happens when you have no estrogen? Yeah. So I'm kind of, at the time you're like, why me? And then you're like, no, I've got this platform and I'm working with these people. I'm so lucky I work with Stacey because she's been able to put me in touch with all these specialists. So I actually saw an endocrinologist from the UK, Dr. Nikki Kay, and she was the one that's like helped me come back out of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's the why, the purpose right there.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, we went on a big rabbit hole tangent, but yeah, it's like basically the stuff that's been going on to me, it's like I want to make sure that no one else experiences it if they don't have to. The research isn't there, and the problem is a lot of what we're going to have to do in women's health is learn from people's lived experiences, because research takes such a long time to actually get published. And the other thing is the cohorts are quite small. And so people go, oh, well, you only did that research on 12 people, so it doesn't really count. We can't disseminate that and say it's generalized to the group. But hey, it happened to me, so it's probably going to happen to someone else.
Yeah. How can people follow you?
So my social media handle is Loretta Loves Lifting. That's also my YouTube and everything as well. So I'm going to start doing some long form content on there from 2026. So definitely going to dive into this women's health space way more, and hopefully get people who are doing research in those areas to come on and 100%. Talk about it.
It's so important, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. You talked about, people giving you these opportunities, but, you really work for them and you put yourself out there, and these opportunities come because of that work.
Thanks.
So thank you so much for everything you do, and good luck. It's awesome. If you made it this far, thank you so much for the support. It really does mean so much to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment on our videos, and share this out. These stories are so inspiring, and they need to be heard by everyone. Thank you so much, team.